Hello folks, I'm LA Little and this is today's short take. I'm looking at FedEx. FedEx reported earnings last week. A big spike up here on earnings. You can see it at this point. Let me grab my cursor. Here's the spike up. Here's the big volume bar. Now typically in a bull market like this one has been, you don't see this fade and fade and fade like it's doing. Right? You don't see that sort of action. You typically see it hold, right, and then eventually try to work back to the top side. But that's not what we're getting. We're getting a fade. Now, that's because of market pressure, right? The existing market pressure that's out there that's pulling this thing back in to try to close this gap. And once it gets deep enough into the gap, it probably is going to close it. So you have to expect it will make it back to the bottom. Volume escalation here as it tested that low. That volume almost the same. If you look at the numbers on, you got 4.338 versus 4.271. So you go up, you come right back into it with its heavy volume. That's people getting back out, right? Willing to sell at lower prices. Now you're back into the gap. You're probably going to close the gap. That doesn't mean that FedEx is done. I mean, FedEx has been a great stock all along here if you've been riding it. It does mean that it's going to try to come back to this low, which will be a retest regen off that high. And that will be the real test for FedEx and for the transportation index, as this has been one of the major movers in that index. Folks, it's late in the bull market. Is it going to continue? It can. It doesn't have to stop. But it's late. It's very late. And stocks like this that show us this on a short-term time frame remind us that not everything just goes up and up and up. That's FedEx, and that's today's short take.